Hey guys, welcome back to my watercolor channel, and the summer is nearly over, but I bet some of you have enjoyed strawberries. I like strawberries, and I thought I'd make a nice quick painting. I prepare colors, so you can see here lemon yellow and turquoise blue. And underneath I have a nice orange out of red out of cadmium red and some deep yellow. I start with my strawberries, so just add those two colors, and I will not add that many details, for example such as the seeds there, but just spreading here and there some of the green and then of the red. I have here like a bigger strawberry at the front. I do wet that one a little bit and then add the green and the red. So it's mixing nicely together. I really want that it keeps its beautiful form. I continue with the background, or at least around my strawberries, which are in a small pot, and then I continue to add some green, so it has a few leaves. I don't have that many details there, but at the moment I make sure that everything is nicely covered, and I added some more of the turquoise blue, so that there is a little bit of a difference between those different shades. And this is wet to wet, so it's mixing nicely together. I added some of the Prussian blue. Now I add much more the indigo blue, so I add much more contrast there. And also I spread the indigo blue in the background. I wanted that it is a little bit more darker. Also, when adding here around the flowers some of the darker blue, I make sure to be quite careful, because I actually have not added any masking fluid. Mainly I'm working here with a negative painting, so my flowers will not have that much color, but really also get your attention there. While the paper is wet, I splash some of the green onto the painting and then continue to paint. Actually, you can see that part of the leaves has dried, and it gives a nice edges there, and it really adds to the contrast. Now I have added here some of the yellow ochre, and I have a small strawberry on the side. I don't want it to be too having hard edges, so I add the colors which are mixing nicely with the background, and continue with my background here. You can see that some of the water has actually flown downwards, and there's a very big stain of green and water, but it actually fits quite well with the overall painting. I add a nice purple, so underneath the pot it fits here as well, and carefully painting around my strawberry. I don't want it to be too dark. I suggest you spread it nicely with a big brush and remember to press the brush onto the paper. The foreground is still wet. I add some of the red, so it's mixing nicely with the purple. And now use some more of the green to add to the stems of the strawberries. Looks a little bit more of the olive green, and I believe I have added some of the yellow ochre here as well. Some more splashes to give it a nice structure so it doesn't look too boring. Also some orange splashes. I continue to add a second layer onto the strawberries, so I really want to have a very strong red, and however not completely just a cadmium red but also yellow. I leave a little bit of space so that the first layer of the strawberries are coming through, and basically the seeds. And then continue with the bigger strawberries. A bigger strawberry. Not that many here. From the composition, it's actually, I do recommend to have different sizes of one subject. For example, that you're painting, in this case they're strawberries, but also like when I'm painting flowers, it's nice to show different sizes and that they are facing different directions, so it makes the painting much more interesting. And now I'm preparing different shades of green so that I can emphasize the leaves as well as adding the stems of the flowers, as you can see, using the tip of the brush. But yes, all summer this year, so 2025, has been actually really short. We had barely of 6 weeks summer, and partly it's because the June has been very wet and cold. Then we had pretty much heat waves for 4 weeks, and it stayed warm for another 2 weeks. But yes, we have now the end of the August when I'm doing this video, and the summer is basically over. Just the leaves are already turning yellow, so the autumn is knocking on its door. And I did not have that many strawberries, especially not from Finland, because the growing time was very short. Although they got quite a lot of sun during the heat waves, but basically they are quite expensive here. I consider it myself luxuous. So if you have the spare money to spend on strawberries, and I believe some people do it this way, that only once a year for special occasion, buying some of the local strawberries produced actually in Finland, but otherwise I have been rather eating it from other countries because it was so much cheaper. And I believe one bucket of strawberries might have been up to between 10 and 15 euros, so you can see that that's not exactly cheap. So what's very important, I think, in watercolor paintings, and also here, even if it's a little bit more abstract, but is to add some shadows. Personally, I think it's more difficult to do is leaving the bright colors a little bit on the side and adding, for example, a bit of more grayish colors so that the bright colors are emphasized. And you can see I add a little bit of the blue grayish colors to the flowers, but mostly I want that the white stays there, but adding like shadows, for example, for around the strawberries where they're leaning onto the pot, and as well as when the one beautiful strawberry is on the ground. I wanted to have as well some of the grey underneath the pot, and then adding here maybe a little bit more of the orange. So basically I am using the colors that are left and just emphasizing the structure and these shadows, so it doesn't look so flat. It's very easy to forget to add those things, or it's scary to add those things, as a matter of fact. That was it, so thank you for watching and remember to subscribe. Bye.